Started looking at the gate or load support for the forwarder because it had a lot of free play in it, and what was causing that really, and had looked at the parts diagram, and it's supposed to be some spring washers in here, and started trying to undo the circlips here, and it was a lot of, I knew it was some smarter way to do this, but since I didn't really know, I used a little bit of brute force getting that circlip out, and as I got, it's two of them there actually. Here I'm torturing the pliers a little, but when the first one came out it kind of popped out a little and it was force on there, but I decided to force the next one out also. And with them both out and they kind of popped out, I forced them in a little, and the material here is a bit mangled, so it would require some grinding getting that support plate out. Later found out there are threads in the rod that connects it to the base of the crane, but I tried to move the machine closer to the garage to have, but that's when it was dead on me earlier. And I started getting pieces of broken spring washers out. Took a while to do with the Dremel tool, would have been faster with a air tool. Eventually it was close and I could force out the support plate and start getting washers out, and there were broken pieces forcing the stack to not well, it wasn't fully seated everywhere. That was the free play that was in the here I had to force a couple of them at the back that were wedged in place because of broken pieces. And I started figuring out that there are threads in the pins that connected to the base of the crane, so you could kind of compress the washers, made it a whole lot easier to get the circlips off the other side, and with them compressed it was a lot better access to grinding enough away to get the support ring out. One side here we're moving it a little back and forth to help it. One side you can see here we ground away a little, it required some welding, it had started cracking there. Looking at the new spring washers and how to configure them to get the proper length. My dad doing some welding on that. It also needed a little welding on the back side because it was cracking on both sides. Bolting one side in place, the connection pin here, I'm not sure if I messed up the video order because we have it here in place and kind of pushing the stack in place, needing a few taps to go all the way in. The other side needed a whole lot more force. It could have maybe used a little more grinded, but we forced it in place. And then the circlips, they needed a little tapping to ensure they were seated fully. Tightened up the connection pin, put a whole lot of grease in through the hole. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but figure it can't hurt. The other side, getting the circlips in place. Here for some reason I'm not sure if the threads on the bolt are bottoming it out or what happened, but we had to undo it and add a couple of more washers to be able to tighten that up, but it's back together now. Here we have moved it closer to the garage and got it started again.